Yo, what's good, guys? Frankie Foresight back here with yet another video. And this one I've kind of touched on in some other videos. The topic I'm going to talk about here, it's going to be about how the government, let's give it a new name. I really don't want to say the New World Order. Well, I just did, but things like the certain terms get your account flagged. And I don't mean literally flagged on YouTube. I just mean you get put on a list for saying certain terms. And someone in my comment section pointed out that there are some ways to avoid that in the chat, but as far as speaking goes, we'll just call it we'll just say they. All right? When I say they, I'm talking about what I just said, the New World Order, the government. We'll just say they from now on. All right? Anyways, they're trying to take control over everybody. This, this has started years and years back. Who knows exactly when? If you asked me and you wanted a straight answer, I'd probably say as far back as the early 1900s. And it's just been getting worse and worse ever since then. Look at how bad it is nowadays. They try to control people to get the vaccine. Look at how much they've spread this. Like, I remember at a job I used to work at, they were offering people $75 bonus if you got the vaccine. It's like, and this is what I said in my last video, it seems like money is really the root of all evil, because you can really bribe anyone without morals. You can bribe to do anything, or like a material person, you can bribe to do anything with money, with a certain amount of money, whatever certain amount that may be. I don't know, but if you got a lot of money, who gives a fuck, right? You can give anybody any money you want. So anyone without a soul and morals can be controlled with money. That's one of the ways they control people. Another, I mean, as far as the vaccine goes, another way they control people is with fear. Clearly, a lot of people are scared of the coronavirus. They announce all these death numbers and all these crazy numbers. How true are they? I don't know, but I do know that it scared a lot of people. It scared a lot of people into getting the vaccine, and that's exactly what they wanted. And it really amazes me how people miss like the obvious things that come through some of these politicians' mouths that reveal what their true intentions are. Like, for example, the president right now, Joe Biden, he was saying, when was it? I believe it was like a month ago or so. There was like a hurricane, I think, around Florida. I'm not from the South, so I'm not too sure exactly where, but I would assume it was around Florida. And he was saying something along the, or this is exactly what he said actually. He said, The best thing you can do to prepare for the hurricane, get your vaccines. It will be harder to get your vaccines when the hurricane comes through. It's like you went from preparing for a hurricane. You were just talking about preparing for a deadly hurricane that's coming. And now you're talking about getting the vaccine to prepare for that hurricane. Is that what you guys are going to do? Is that what you guys are going to do when you see the hurricane coming on the fucking horizon up the fucking ocean? You're going to run and go get your vaccine? Come on, man. Will you come on, man? It's nuts, dude. It is nuts. And I really don't know what's more nuts, what's more crazy now. The fact that they are actually doing this shit, or the fact that people just eat this shit up. There are obviously people like myself and some of you guys maybe, and other people that know what's going on, but it's like, if you don't already know what's going on, like, these things just go in people's, like, in one ear and out the other. It's like he didn't even say that. It's like they forgot that he just was just talking about preparing for the hurricane, and now they just, like, are listening to him say to get your vaccine. And this is another way they control people, through fear. People are scared of the hurricane. People are scared of coronavirus, so they just listen to what he says to help with both. Get your vaccine to avoid the coronavirus and avoid the hurricane. Apparently, I don't know, but yeah, like I said, I don't know what's crazier: people falling for this shit, or I would say it's that, honestly. But another way they control people, control men, because, as I've said in some of my other videos, I mean, this is just a fact. You can call it sexist if you want to. I really don't give a fuck. But women are easier to control than men are, naturally, biologically, because women are naturally more emotional, and they are more cautious and fearful because they are not as strong as men, not as physically strong, typically not as intellectually strong as men. They're not willing to go into the fire as much as men, you know what I mean? So they're much more easily manipulated by the government and by them. But so, like I was saying, men are more difficult to manipulate than women. So what's happening right now, and I actually have an anecdote that I just thought of to kind of get this point across. What's happening right now, the government is controlling women through fear and their emotions. And don't get me wrong, they're getting a lot of men like this too, because as we know, a lot of men today are very emotional. It is what it is, but so they do end up getting a lot of men through their emotions and through fear, controlling them that way. But the truly masculine men that can manage their emotions, they are trying to get these men by controlling the women, and through the women, they control the men. It's kind of like what Satan did in the Bible. Whether you believe in the Bible or not, personally, uh, I'm not going to speak on that right now, but I'm not religious. I don't read any holy texts like that, but obviously I know some stories from them. But anyways, it's kind of like what Satan did in the Bible with Adam and Eve and the apple. Everybody knows the story, right? Satan bribed Eve with the fruit and she ate it, and then she told Adam to do it. A beautiful woman is a man's biggest weakness, because that's where most of a man's emotions lie, in either his woman, or maybe a woman he wants, or maybe a woman he's dealt with, whatever. But this is how women eventually get to more masculine men that they haven't already gotten through their other tactics. And like I said, I just thought of an anecdote. A guy I know at work, who we were talking about the vaccine at work and whatnot, and a lot of people there actually didn't get it, which kind of surprised me, but obviously that makes me feel good, I guess you could say. I mean, it's nice to know that other people see things the way I do. And the guy I know, I mean, I've known him basically all my life, but he has a wife right now. His wife is pretty attractive, she's definitely an attractive girl. And you can tell that she's controlling the relationship. And one of the ways you can tell this, cars driving past me fucking mad slow, kind of weird. But the reason I could tell this, I mean, I could kind of tell just by my intuition before that, but anyways, he told us when we were talking about the vaccine that his wife made him get it. It wasn't his decision. You are supposed to be the leader in a household, but this is what the government does. They want women to have the power. They want women to be the leaders. So the women make choices out of emotion. Therefore, their choices are controlled by the government because the government controls their emotions. Does this make sense to you guys? Talk down in the comments if you want to about what I'm saying right now. But it seems pretty simple to me. I mean, I've seen it time and time again now, and it just keeps playing out that way. And it makes more sense to me now why the government is pushing all of this feminist bullshit and female empowerment. All the women want the power in the relationship, want the power over sex, want the power over the marriage, want the power over the children. Like, we all know that women have a much higher chance of getting custody of the children over the father. When who's the leader? I mean, obviously there could be a bad father in the picture, but women are just seen as better people than men, which you guys can think what you want on that one. I'm not going to speak on that one, because there are good people and there are bad people of both genders at the end of the day. But what I'm saying is, women have all of the power nowadays, and it's creating problems like the anecdote I just showed with you guys. Whole families are getting vaccinated when it wasn't the man's decision, it was the female's decision, and it was the wrong decision. He said he regretted getting the vaccine. clearly he didn't want to get the vaccine. He knew in his intuition, in his mind, his intuition, in his heart, that something wasn't right, right? And he ended up getting it. And this is what I mean. They control men through women. A beautiful woman is a man's biggest weakness. And that's why I tell you guys, tell the men that watch my channel, and the females too, everybody needs to practice sexual discipline at the end of the day. Because that's how these women end up getting fucked up. They're not sexually disciplined. And that's how these dudes end up getting manipulated. They're not sexually disciplined. But yeah, man. That was a lot of information I covered in one video. This one, be easy in the comments. Don't, like one of my subscribers was saying, use asterisks if you're going to type keywords that you know YouTube is going to be looking for. This one had some good information, and this one might get taken down, honestly, if they find it. But I've seen a lot of people talk about this information, and they don't quite get taken down. But then again, I've seen smaller channels than them, and they've got completely taken down their whole channel. So it all, at the end of the day, it all really depends on how much you're exposing, whether they can let it slide. Because if they can let it slide, if they decide they can let it slide, they will. Because that's less evidence that they're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Alright, that's going to be it for this one. Don't want the video to get too long. Try to keep it under 20. But I'll see you guys soon. In a few days, hopefully. Peace.